Sasha, welcome back to Reading with Toby. Today I am so excited to bring you guys this video. We are going to be talking about my fall TBR. I know I haven't made one of these, I think, the whole year for any season, but fall is one of my favorite seasons. I love Halloween. It's almost October. I will be doing an October TBR with my whole game and everything, but I really want to make this video to kind of share with you guys some of the books that I'm looking most forward to read this fall. That includes October, November, and probably even a little bit into December. And also to help focus me when I finally make my October TBR game, because I've noticed that I kind of get lost trying to fit books in the prompts, and my reading hasn't been the best. As in, like, reading books that I truly love. So I'm hoping that by making this fall TBR, it will kind of keep me focused on the books that I actually want to read, and hopefully read some like really great books this fall. So let's go ahead and get started. I went through my shelves and kind of picked out, I think I have 10 or so books that I am most looking forward to get to this fall season. And then there are 2 books that have just come out, I think last week. I haven't bought them yet. I would like to buy them, but I'm going to try to finish the book that I'm currently reading before I buy it. But we will talk about those as well, because they sound really great and also sound like pretty good fall reads. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so the very first book that I have is the one that I'm currently reading. This is my most anticipated book for 2021. I was so excited when it came out, and I am enjoying it so far. I think things are about to pick up, so I'm very excited. And that is All's Well by Mona Awad. This author is one of my favorites, even though I've only read one book by her. This is her 3rd release. Let me get the other book. So she wrote Bunny, which I read a couple years ago, actually, for in October, and I absolutely love this book. It is so witchy and dark and weird. Her writing is like incredible. That's what made this book for me, was the writing. So I said, anything that she ever comes out with, ever, I will buy it. I don't need to know what it's about. I will buy it and purchase it. So because I love this book so much, which this is a great fall read if you're looking for something. I was super excited to find out she was coming out with this year. So this book, you are following a woman who has some sort of chronic illness. She's always has this chronic pain, and she is the associate professor of this theater department, and she's trying to put on this play called All's Well, but the students want to put on Macbeth, and she is addicted to her pain medications. And that's all I have so far. That's all that's happening. It's very dark, a little bit funny, like that dark humor, written very well again. Yeah, and I have no idea where this book is gonna go, which, based off Bunny, you won't be able to guess. So I'm just going to enjoy the ride. I am loving it so much. I am about 85 pages in. This is going to be the first book that I definitely finish for fall. Next one is a book that came out last year that I never got around to. I think it came out last year. Oh, maybe it came out this year, earlier this year. All my time is just such a blur right now. Anyways, that is How Beautiful We Were by Mbolo Mbiu, I believe that's how you say it. So I love this cover. This book sounded so fascinating to me, and I bought it when it came out, but then I kind of like lost track of it. But one of my favorite bookstagrammers, his name is Max, I think it's at Well Done Books. I'll definitely link him down below, and I put his name here. He used to do YouTube videos, but he doesn't make them anymore. He's only on Instagram. But his reading taste is like exactly like mine. We don't read the same books, but when he loves a book, I know that I'm most likely gonna read it and also love it. And so I saw him read this book, but he recently posted that like this was one of his, he still thinks about this book, and this is one of his favorite books that he's read this year. And I'm like, all right, I need to get to it. So this book, you are following this small village in Africa, and this oil company, American oil company, comes and basically tries to like destroy their land to get the oil, and the small little village decides to take revenge to get their land back. It sounds so good. So this is definitely on my radar now for fall. All right, next we have a book that I have been meaning to read forever, and it's on my like 10 books that I wanted to get to this year, which that list is just not happening. But this is why we're making this fall TBR. So we have Hamlet by Maggie O'Farrell. I love this cover. I've been wanting to read this since like last year's stunning edition. It won the Women's Prize for Fiction last year, so I need to get to it, and I know I'm gonna love it. Like, I haven't heard one person who hasn't loved this book since they read it. It is supposed to be sad, filled with grief. In this book, you are following Shakespeare's wife after they lost their son named Hamlet, and it's definitely focuses more on the wife. Shakespeare is not even mentioned by name. And yeah, you're following her grief after she loses her son. And I just heard nothing but incredible things about this. I cannot wait to read it. Like a sad historical fiction sounds like the perfect fall book. All right, and next we have, of course, some horror that I want to get to in fall. The first one is this here. This is called Foxlow by Eleanor Wazenberg. This book has been on my radar for years and years and years, but it was impossible to find in the US. It was no longer in stock on Book Depository, but then I think earlier this year I just so happened to find it at Half Price Books, which I could not believe. All I know about this is you're following two siblings. I think there's a cult, and that's all I know. It just says green and blue are sisters. Foxlow is home, outside is bad. Green understands, why can't blue? I don't know. Sounds great. Creepy kids in a forest, maybe some kind of cult. I don't know. I'm excited though. All right, keeping on with the horror, this book I have been wanting to get to since last year, and I keep like staring at it on my bookshelves, and that is Plain Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danforth. I love this cover. This is a chunky book, so I don't know like who I think I am thinking that I'm gonna be able to read this, but it just keeps calling my name. I keep like staring at it, and I know that it's been getting like mixed reviews. I don't think, ooh, my glasses just fell. That's not good. I don't think I've seen, honestly, I think I've only seen a couple people actually read this book, and they've given it 3 stars, I think. So I want to find out for myself. It sounds like something I'm gonna love. You set at a boarding school, horror, and then there's like a film aspect. I believe they're filming like a documentary, and I love books that have filming and cinema intertwined in the plot. So it sounds like I would love it. So I just want to know, and I think it's like mixed media. I think it's kind of told differently in some parts. I think there's photographs. I don't know. I'm just very, very curious about this book. It keeps calling my name, so we will see if I actually get to it. Let me know if you've read this and you think I will like it, because yeah, I don't know, this is one that like I haven't heard a lot of people talk about, and I want to know. I want to know. Another horror book that I am probably like 98% sure I'm gonna get to this year, and that is The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. This book I really want to get to. It's by an Indigenous author. I've heard amazing things about this, but I have no idea what it's about. I don't know. I don't really need to know. I just know if you told me like it's a great horror book, then I definitely want to read it. So this is definitely happening for sure. Another horror book that's on my radar is The Devil All the Time by Donald Ray Pollock. I have been wanting to read this book ever since I saw Kat from Paperback Dreams. Her and her dad both gave this 5 stars. And Kat is another one of those booktubers where like we don't necessarily read the same books, but books that she gives 5 stars, I also usually give 5 stars too. So she gave this 5 stars. I want to know, it's a small town horror following, not paranormal or anything, you're just following some sinister people. And I'm very curious. I also want to watch the movie. The movie came out I think last year with Tom Holland, and it looks really good. So I definitely, if I do end up reading this, I will definitely vlog it and read and watch the movie with you guys. So I'm very excited. This is another kind of like chunky horror, but I'm very curious about this. Okay, so the next one is a book that I actually kind of forgot about, not gonna lie, because I haven't seen anyone talk about this, but as I was like looking at my shelves, thinking about what books I wanted to read, this book caught my eye and I definitely want to get to it. And I also saw, I think I saw on Instagram, someone did a post by horror books by people of color that like you need to read, and this book was on there, and I was like, oh yeah, I need to read that book. And that is Sorrowland by Rivers Solomon. So I haven't heard anyone else talk about this book, but I believe this is kind of like a fantastical speculative horror. It's a genre building work of gothic fiction. Here monsters aren't just individuals but entire nations. Sounds like there's some kind of creepy forest. A woman is pregnant. She's trying to escape the strict religious compound where she was raised. I don't know. I don't want to know too much. I just kind of want to go into it blind. Doesn't that sound good though? It's like I'm curious about it. This author, they wrote The Deep, which I also have not read. I've been wanting to read this book forever. This is another one I need to like get to very soon, especially because it's so short. I've been waiting for a good prompt for my game to pick this one up. So I know a lot of people have read this book, and this is their new release if you're curious. So this is definitely one that I want to get to. I do love me some gothic fiction, and I love weird horror, as you all know. So definitely curious about this one. The next one is a book that I'm also like 98% sure, 99% sure that I'm going to get to. I have been talking about this book forever. And that is Catherine House by Elizabeth Thomas. You guys already know. Dark academia, weird book, my kind of vibes. I need to read it. I don't have anything else to say about it. You guys know I want to read it. All right, we are getting close. The next book, these are a lot of books as I'm going through, I understand. I'm definitely not saying I'm going to be reading all of these. These are just the like my priority for fall. And please let me know in the comments if you think there's one that I will definitely love that I need to prioritize first. Please let me know. Okay, so next is this one here. This is Piranesi by Susanna Clark. I've had my eye on this ever since it was longlisted for the Women's Prize for Fiction, and it actually won the Women's Prize for Fiction this year, so it makes me want to read it even more. This one, no idea what it's about, but I've heard it's one of those books where it's best not to know anything and for you to just go along and figure out what it's all about as you read it. I love the cover, which I wanted to see something really quick. Oh yes, okay. And it is beautiful under the dust jacket, and it has really pretty oh my gosh, what are these called? I'm blanking. End pages, beautiful end pages. So this is another one that's like very, very, very high on my priority list that I would like to get to in fall. Right, next is probably the most quintessential fall read that I can't believe I haven't read yet. I really want to get to it, and that is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I mean, if you think of fall, I feel like everyone thinks of this book, especially if you're looking for a good dark academia, a good dark read. I feel like there's not much to say about this. I need to get to it. And I have been craving it. I'm gonna say I have been wanting just some good writing, a good story, a good dark, well-written story. That's what I'm looking for, and I think this is it. So here we go. The last book that I have that I actually own that's on my bookshelves is The Devil in the Dark Water by Stuart Turton. I, again, was looking through my shelves and I was like, oh my God, I forgot about that book. I really want to read it. I read his other book, The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, last year, I think also around fall time. And I bloody love this book. This book was so brilliant. Thought it was so good. So I cannot wait. Oh, here we go. A Murder on the High Seas, a detective duo, a demon who may or may not exist. That sounds so great. So I'm expecting this to be smart and dark and a little bit funny. That's how this was. Very clever. And yeah, I'm very excited about this. This is also a gift from a subscriber, from Veronica, so thank you so much. And yeah, this is another one that I really want to get to because I already know that I love the author and the premise sounds great. So those are all of the books that I own that I would like to get to, or that is on my TBR. Two other books that I don't own yet, but they have come out recently. The first one is Bewilderment by Richard Powers. This book is shortlisted for the Booker Prize. It was my definitely the most interesting sounding one on the short list and the long list, honestly. So this one, you are following this astrobiologist who is trying to take care of his son. I think his son is like going through some hard times. He's not sure if he needs to put his son on like psychotics. He's trying to find other ways to help his son. And then there was like a line in the blurb that was like, and taking him to other planets may help his son. I don't know, something about intraplanetary travel, a father and son relationship. Sounds so great. I cannot wait. So I'm definitely like 100% will be picking up this book. That's another one like top priority. Can't wait to read it. I've heard great things about Richard Powers. I think his other book won like a Pulitzer or something like that. Pulitzer, I'll put here. His other book, The Overstory, is like well loved. Another book on my TBR that I want to get to, but Bewilderment first. Okay, and then the last book that I really want to get to is Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. This book sounds so fun and cute. I just know that there is, I think, maybe someone falling in love with a ghost. Like, if you tell me a book has ghosts in it, like, I'm gonna want to read it. And he is the one who wrote, I'm sure you can tell by the cover of the book, but he wrote The House on the Cerulean Sea, which I really did enjoy this book. It was just so fun and heartwarming and sweet, and I have a feeling this is gonna be the same way. And then add in a ghost and it's like maybe my perfect book. I don't know, we'll see. Those are all of the books that I am most looking forward to this fall. Let me know if you think there's one on this list that like I absolutely should get to because you think I'm gonna love it, or you want me to read it because you want to hear my thoughts on it. Either way, I am very excited. I'm about to film my October TBR now so that I can go ahead and get excited about what books I'm gonna read in October. So yes, let me know what you guys think and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Bye.